One of my most favorite things about quilting, and it's something that I've recently discovered. So, this may be something that you haven't thought about or that you haven't experienced or experimented with, and that is thread. I am a diehard loyal girl when it comes to my thread. Like when I first started, I used one particular brand for everything. And I was mainly just piecing and then stitch in the ditch for my quilting. And then I started to grow and expand. And I found that certain thread sizes, thread weights, did not look the same as other thread weights. And I really didn't have a good color wall of threads when I first started out. So it really got me thinking, what is something that could help a beginner quilter or semi-beginner expand their thread color wall along with their fabric color wall? And I came across this. This is one of the packages for MMC. But I want you to notice the threads. You have different finishes. They're all wrapped in plastic inside another plastic bag. But for example, this was January's Multi-Max Thread Club pack. You have an 80 weight thread, you have a variegated thread, you have two 60 weight threads, and you have a 100 weight thread. And you're thinking, why do I need so many thread weights? Well, different thread weights give you different looks. And if you wanted to thread paint, meaning you're going over and over again to give a texture to your product, maybe you wanted to add some texture to an applique or even add more definition to your quilting, you're going to want a different thread that will stand out or perhaps even disappear into your quilting. So therefore, there's different thread weights. So one thing that I recommend is if you have like this die-hard thread company that you love, like I love my Wonderfil Specialty Threads. They're out of Canada. One thing I suggest is to get the thread guidebook. This was a big lifesaver for me as a beginner quilter because of that chart back here. And they have Wonderfil in here. Ta-da! Love this. It literally tells you which thread name, because the brand may be Wonderfil, but they have different lines, and different lines have different names, just like everything else, right? The fiber that it's used to be made with, and in the beginning of the book, it will talk about how that fiber is made, the weight and the ply, so how many strands is it, how thick is it, the use, very, very important. This part, and then also the needle size of what to use it with. And then it can even sometimes tell you about your stitch length as well. So, for example, okay, it says Afina, or here's Deco Bob is the first one. It's a polyester brand or polyester fiber, 80 weight. So it's not the thinnest, but it's very, very close to being the thinnest. And it can be used for machine embroidery, machine piecing, domestic machine quilting, and long arm quilting. And so it has the little chart there with the figures, and it has, in case you can't remember what the symbols mean, there is a chart in the front, so it does help you with that. And then what needle size to use with it to get that, to make the most beautiful stitch ever. So this has been very, very helpful. Thread companies usually have this information on their website, but if you want like the full enchilada, instead of just, regular enchilada with no cheese, no chili gravy, this gives you the whole menu, the whole plate with rice and beans as well, okay? If you're not from Texas, I'll get you some enchiladas. But this is the thread guide, and this was heaven sent, okay? So what if you're not ready to experiment and grow with the different thread weights? What if you are focused on one particular thread weight? Okay. Contact your local thread company that you use, not the quilt shop, but the actual thread brand, okay? And ask for a color card. This is an example of one from Wonderfil. For all of the brands and lines, okay, so Wonderfil is the only thread brand that I carry, and for all of the lines that they carry that I carry, I also get their color cards. So this would be a color card. You open it up, and it will have a demonstration of how it's used. And then it has all of this information on how best to use their thread. The company that makes the thread knows how best to use the thread. That's my theory. I haven't been proven wrong yet. And then you have every possible color that it comes in. And you can see how nice and shiny it is. I love, love, love Wonderfil. Wonderfil is one of my favorite lines to piece with. It's a very, very thin thread. So when you piece, say you're piecing like this, and then when you fold it over, your fabrics right here are going to be more flat, more side by side, because this hunk goes over that thread. And if it's very, very thin, it will come back down all the way. And so it almost looks like it's like a cheater quilt, if that sort of makes sense. Thicker threads will tend to have like a little hump before it comes down because it's got that thread under there. Does that make sense? I hope so. If not, email me. I'll give you some pictures. I'm also going to have some demonstrations of this put up on our YouTube channel too. So you can also check So Much Charm's YouTube channel. We'll get that done as well. But this is something that none of my girlfriends knew existed, was that you can get color cards that have a little bit of each of the colors that are available. And so I literally carry around a color card for each of the lines in my briefcase with my laptop. So that if I'm ever somewhere and, oh my God, I think that fabric might work, I want to see which thread is gonna work. So I need to know, do I need to place an order or do I already have it in stock? And this is just one of the most amazing things ever. And then the company brand is on the back. But then even up here, it even has like the quick info right here and everything as to what you can use that thread for. So the big deal is with your thread, use it, play with it, experiment with the different thread weights. These are just some of the sets that we've put together for our Multi-Max thread club, and some of these are still available. This one is sold out, but it's beautiful, and we're able to put together these gorgeous thread sets because they have gorgeous and amazing threads. Like we had a green month, so we did all different shades of green, something to help you build your color wall, and also to where you could use it for bobbin, for piecing. If you wanted to try quilting or maybe some embellishments, you could use that thread. They also have this. This is super cool. So this is called the Bobbinator. And inside are pre-wound bobbins that you can get to fit your machine. So these are for class 15s because I also have a Juki and I also have a Singer featherweight. Well, there's a lot of thread on these, like a lot. So for my featherweight, I can use this and run the thread as the top spool and then still run my regular featherweight bobbin in the actual bobbin area, and it will piece just beautifully. This has a great tension on it as well. So I love these. Now I can also take this apart and take this bobbin out and put it in my Juki and have a pre-wound bobbin. And that's a lot of thread. That's a lot of thread, especially for a 100 weight thread. You get a lot on the bobbin. So pre-wound bobbins are kind of like a convenience. Not everybody may want them, but they do have a slightly higher cost. But when you look at how much thread you're getting with them, you can get them in just a package of just pre-wound bobbins as well. And I love to do that. My favorite one is this gray right there because it blends in with everything. The only color I have not found, the only color that I have found that gray will not blend with very well is a yellow. And that was when I was working on a blue and yellow Ukraine quilt block. When I used my yellow through it, you could see the gray. You could see the gray thread with the yellow fabric. So, but it's blended with every fabric sense and every fabric before that. So, thread. Don't be scared of it. Have fun with it. Play with it. And enjoy it. And if you're interested in joining a thread club, we have one at somuchcharm.com. You can shoot me a message and I can send you the sign up, or you can sign up online on our website. And it's a monthly subscription for $22.49. It's a really great deal. Really great deal. I mean, each month is a new theme, new colors. April is rainbow. Yes. And I think there's only one left. It's already sold out. But in case it's available, message me if you want it. And I'd be happy to show it to you. But it is gorgeous. In fact, I should drop a picture of it on our blog post for the Rebecca Page Quilting Summit. So I'll do that as well. So that's Wonderfil Specialty Thread. I love it. If you've never tried it, shoot me a message and I'll send you a sample of it for you, because I think that once you try it, you're going to love it. And you're going to be like, wow, I can't believe this. It's not just amazing that it sews so beautifully, but it's nearly lintless. They use Egyptian cotton and they do what's called double gassing it. So each time they gas it, they're literally burning all of those little fibers off of a strand. I don't even have another thread company here, do I? No, but, oh, I do. Okay, so this is a wooden, I collect wooden bobbins. wooden spools. Okay, so for gassing, I know this isn't very small thread, but then you can see it. Can you see all these little fibers that are sticking off of it? Maybe not so. Let me get a little bit closer. You see all those little fibers like that? Yeah, you see that? When you gas it, it's literally burning all of those off. And each time that it burns it, see there's a little fuzz ball right there. It takes 80% off. So then they do it again. And so by the time you run this through your machine, I mean, I was having to clean my machine literally every week. And now I clean it like once a year for Lent because I don't have to. The machine still runs so clean, so beautifully, and so smooth. So if I can spend less time cleaning my machine and more time sewing with my machine, that's what I'm going to do. And Wonderfil Specialty Threads helps me do it. And they're just beautiful. They're so pretty. Anyway, Wonderfil Specialty Threads. Check them out.